So those of you just arrived, hi, I'm Andy, I'm your quiz master for tonight, and we are going to be going through 6 rounds of quiz questions, a real mixture of questions to suit everybody. So there's some multiple choice, there are some pictures, there's some ones where if you've got no idea, you can guess as well, and there are some questions that can really test those of you who know lots about Dartmoor as well. So we are nearly there. We're nearly ready for our first question. So I'm going to turn the chat off now. So are you ready? So we are just about to get quizzing. So if you've got your papers and things ready, it is ready for the quiz. So it is round 1, and the first round is travels through time. So these are all going to be history related questions to get you going here. So question 1. Who was the flamboyant landowner responsible for the granite tramway, or railroad as it's sometimes known, which went from Tor and which has this year celebrated 200 years? Was it A, George Church, B, George Templar, and C, George Chapel? So A, George Church, B, George Templar, C, George Chapel. And there's a bonus question here as well. What was record breaking about this railroad? So there are 2 points up for grabs. Can you name the landowner, and can you say what was record breaking about this railroad? Just give you a few seconds to have a little stab at that. Okay, question 2. Question 2, Dartmoor Prison was opened at Princetown in 1809. Where did the first prisoners to be held there come from? It was opened in 1809, but where did the first prisoners to be held there come from? And it's definitely the first prisoners, so those of you who got a bit of a knowledge, I don't want second or third or fourth lot, I want the first lot, please. Okay, hopefully that's enough time for you there. Question 3. In the mid-19th century, Dartmoor became popular with tourists, attracted by its wild beauty. What is the name for the old-fashioned coaches that brought them up onto Dartmoor? What's the name for the old-fashioned coaches that brought tourists up onto Dartmoor? This is where you miss out being in a pub, isn't it? And I can't see everyone's heads and the discussions going on. But it does mean I can be ruthless and just carry straight on. So that is good. So question 4. Medieval tinners had their own laws and were answerable only to the king. They settled their own disputes at an outdoor tinners' parliament on the moor. Where was it? Was it A, Seven Lords Land, B, Crockentor, or C, Haytor? So you've got 3 choices there for where the outdoor tinners' parliament was held on the moor. Is it A, B, or C? Okay. Question 5. Leeds provided a seemingly endless supply of water across the moor, powering water wheels for mills and all kinds of industry. What was milled at powder mills near Postbridge? What was milled at powder mills near Postbridge? I'll give you a few seconds for that. Doing okay out there? Okay, question 6. Question 6. How old is Dartmoor National Park this year? How old is Dartmoor National Park this year? So I know there's a few work colleagues on the quiz tonight, so I'm hoping you've all got that right. Otherwise there'll be a big black mark against your name there. Okay, question 7. Question 7. Dartmoor is an incredibly rich landscape full of the signs of past lives. It's particularly famous for its ruined Bronze Age houses or hut circles, which you can see across the moor. According to archaeologists, how many are there on Dartmoor to the nearest 1,000? So in thousands, how many thousands are there out on the moor? If you don't know, it might be worth a guess, just to try and come up with a number on that. So according to the archaeologists, how many are there on Dartmoor to the nearest 1,000? And I've just realised archaeologists is a bit hard to say. Okay, fabulous. And question 8 is the last one in the round, and it's a picture question. So I'm just about to show you a picture. This is called Holy Stones. Holy Stones. So here we go. We've got 3 pictures here, and they're all of stones that you might see on Dartmoor. And thank you to the Dartmoor Trust for allowing us to use these images tonight. So thank you guys. I want to know which one of these is a kist. Is it A, B, or C? Which one of these is a kist? A, B, or C? And there are also 2 bonus points, not bonus stones, 2 bonus points if you can say what the other images are of. So I want to know which one is the kist, and I want to know what the other 2 stones are. So you should be able to see quite clearly from the image there 3 very distinct looking stones, and I'd like you to try and work out which one is which. Okay, so I'm just looking at the time and I'm seeing that that's about the right amount of time, so I hope that's not too much of a rush for you, but if we leave them much longer, then we are going to go quizzing all night, and some of us have got our tea to have. Yes. Okay, so we're going to go on to round 2 now. So here we go. Round 2. Are you a tourist? And can you see from my cunning misspelling of tourist, this question really is about how well you know Dartmoor's tors. So this is all about how well you know Dartmoor's tors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a map. Oh, sorry. What I want to do was show you me for a second. What I'm going to do is show you a map of Dartmoor with 10 tors on it. I want you to try to work out what these 10 tors are. Now, to make it easier, I've got a list of 10 tors. Let me show you it rather than explain it awkwardly. Okay, here we go. So I'm showing you now a map that has got 10 red spots on it, A to J, and I've got a list in the bottom right hand corner of these 10 tors, and I want you to work out which one is which. If you look carefully, you can see I've taken the roads off Dartmoor, so you're going to have to navigate the Dartmoor map there using rivers or the woodlands that you can see, or if you've got no idea, you're going to have to guess, but you know, you've got a chance that you might get some of them right. Who knows how you get on? So give it a go. You've got 5 minutes for this round, so that makes, in my mind, we've got another 3 minutes or so there. So another 3 minutes on that. I should have put a timer on, shouldn't I? That would have been good. Got 3 minutes. So at 18:47, I'm going to take this down. Have a good look here. See if you can figure out. Some of them are quite familiar names, aren't they? Places like Tor. So you've got a fighting chance there, perhaps, of trying to figure out which one is Tor, and then maybe that will help you work out where all the others are as well. For some of you who are Dartmoor experts, you will get this instantly, I'm sure. But for some of us more challenged, it might take a little while longer. You've got a couple of minutes yet to stare at this map and look at it and try and work it out. Go through it in a process of elimination, perhaps. Okay, another minute, another 2 minutes, minute and a half, say. Okay, you're into your final minute now for this round. So have you worked out which one's Tor, and then started to unravel all the others? Apologies to some of my colleagues who helped me try out some of these questions. I know some of these are ones that you've already tried out, but bear with me, there will be fresh questions that you've not tried before. So stay with it. Okay, I think we are just about running out of time on that one. So quickly sort of make your last marks, or sort of make notes of what you think they might be, so you can have a go at guessing them or filling them in. That is the end of that. But I have got a bonus question for you here. Since though there are 10 tours here, it feels right that we have a 10 tours question. And that question is, what year was the first 10 tours expedition to include civilians? So what year was the first 10 tours expedition to include civilians or the public? So what year was the first 10 tours expedition? Okay, that was your bonus question there. So there are 11 marks up for grabs in that round. So now we are ready to go on to our next round here. Our next round is round 3. This one is called Wild About Dartmoor. So no surprises. This one is going to be all about wildlife and nature and natural things on Dartmoor. Okay, so if you are ready, we'll start with question 1. Question 1, what stone... Sorry guys, I thought it was probably better to not hide behind the round sign. Question 1, what stone can be found across the high ground of Dartmoor and gives it its special character? So what stone gives Dartmoor its special character? And there's a bonus point here. How long ago was it formed? So I'm not sure whether there's any geologists amongst us here, so I'm going to give you the opportunities to give it to me in blocks of 50 million years. So for example, the answer could be in the range of 50, 100, 150, 200, 300, 450, 500, whatever, but in 50s. So just to give you a fighting chance to guess that. If you want to give me the exact number that we say, then that is fine. But if the mere mortals amongst the want to go to blocks of 50, that would be fabulous. Okay, question 2. Question 2, we are working with our partners to conserve the iconic moorland bird, the curlew on Dartmoor, and try to stop its dramatic decline. But what is strange about the curlew's beak? What's strange about the curlew's beak? Okay. Question 3. Question 3. Dartmoor is famous for its bogs and mires. Very wet at this time of year, isn't it? In the summer, though, some of these bogs and mires become very colourful. What colour flower is bog asphodel? What colour flower is bog asphodel? It's another one of those tricky words there. Asphodel. Asphodel. Okay. Question 4. The peat that forms the dark brown soils of Dartmoor is formed from decaying sphagnum moss. Why was sphagnum moss collected in the First World War? Why was sphagnum moss collected in the First World War? Question 5. The ash slug is the world's largest slug and can be found in Dartmoor's woodlands. How big can they get to? In centimetres or in inches, if you prefer. So, how big can they get to? In centimetres or inches? Some of you may be thinking, well, actually, if I answer in inches, there are less numbers, aren't there? So I've got more chance of getting it right if I know the rough length of an ash slug. So you can give it in inches if you think you need to be a bit vaguer, or if you want to be precise, you know the exact answer, give it me in centimetres. Okay, I have got a picture to show you this time for this next question. Question 6, I'm going to show you this picture here. Okay, what is this creature and where would you find it? What's this creature and where would you find it? So look very carefully. Tell me where you would find it. What is this creature and where would you find it? So there are 2 points up for grabs with this one. First one is for what is the creature, and the second point is where would you find it? Okay, the final question of this round, question 7, is about oak trees. Different species of oak, let me start again. The different species of oak tree grow in different parts of the moor. The pedunculate oak grows in the high moorland copses like Tor copse and Wistman's wood, and the English or sessile oaks grow in places like Yarner wood. How can the acorns help you tell the difference between them? So how can you tell the difference between a pedunculate oak and a sessile oak? Just by looking at the acorns. Think about what those words might mean. Maybe they can help you work it out. So different species of oak tree grow in different parts of the moor. The pedunculate oak grows in the high moorland copses like Tor copse and Wistman's wood, and the sessile oak grows in places like Yarner wood. How can the acorns help you tell the difference between them? And that is the end of that round. That is the end of round 3. So we've had 3 of our rounds so far. That is great. And we've got 3 more rounds to go. So I'm hoping that the pace is going okay there for you all. I will open up the chat at the end if there's anybody needs recaps on any of these before we go to the answers, just in case I have gone too fast for anyone's missed any. But we will move on to very exciting. You'll never guess, it's round 4. And round 4 is That's Entertainment. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions inspired by Dartmoor's artistic and cultural past. So things that have happened on Dartmoor that have got an entertainment or culture relation to them. So if we are ready, let's crack on. So question 1. Which film, made in 1932, links the old railway station at Lussley to Sherlock Holmes? So there's a point there. Which film made in 1932 links the old railway station at Lussley to Sherlock Holmes? And for a bonus point, what role did the station play in the film? What role did the station play in the film? Okay, question 2. Which early 90s good time outlaw band, I've highlighted those because it's a bit cryptic. So what early 90s good time outlaw band headlined the 2019 Chagstock Festival? So which early 90s good time outlaw band headlined the 2019 Chagstock Festival? Hopefully that hasn't put you off too much. Question 3. Question 3. Who directed the film Warhorse, which was filmed on Dartmoor? So I'll be very disappointed if anybody gets this one wrong, but I want to make sure everyone got at least a point here. So who directed the film Warhorse, which was filmed on Dartmoor? And there's a bonus question. Who wrote the book it was based on? So again, hopefully you'll get the answer to that one as well. So who directed the film Warhorse and who wrote the book it was based on? Question 4. Name the Devon musician who was nominated for the Mercury Music Prize in 2005 for their album Kitty J, inspired by the Dartmoor legend. Name the musician who was nominated for the Mercury Music Prize in 2005 for their album Kitty J, inspired by the Dartmoor legend. quiet, isn't it? Very quiet. Okay, let's get on with the next question. Question 5. The book We Bought a Zoo was about a family buying Dartmoor Zoo, which actually isn't on Dartmoor, is it? But we'll let that one slip for the moment. To which American state did the Hollywood movie of the same name relocate the zoo to, though? So you obviously think of Dartmoor as a sort of sometimes slightly damp and precipitous. So which American state did Hollywood think would best represent Dartmoor when they remade the film set in the US? So have a go at that one. Which American state did the Hollywood movie We Bought a Zoo relocate Dartmoor Zoo to? Which state? Okay, question 6. Question 6. Sabine Baring-Gould was a Victorian antiquarian who studied Dartmoor and helped organise the first archaeological investigations of the moor as part of the Dartmoor Exploration Committee. But he also wrote the words for which famous hymn? It's probably one those of us of a certain age have all sung at school. I don't know whether younger people will be singing it at school, but certainly those of us of a certain age sang it at school. Okay, I hope that's enough time for you there. So we're on to the final question, question 7 of the That's Entertainment round. Question 7, the author Agatha Christie wrote her first mystery to include which famous character while staying at the Moorland Hotel near Haytor? I just saw I jumped there, so let me just repeat that. The author Agatha Christie wrote her first mystery to include which famous character while staying at the Moorland Hotel near Haytor in 1916. I nearly put my own jump into that then. So Agatha Christie wrote her first novel to include which famous character while staying at the Moorland Hotel near Haytor in 1916. So there are, I think there are 7 questions there and 2 bonus points in that round. So there's going to be 9 points up for grabs from that when we come to mark it. Everyone's got enough time there. I'm just looking at the time. I'm on schedule, so that is good. So we're on to our 5th round now. Round 5. Here we go. This one is called Geography and Places. So this is going to be one with some more typical Dartmoor facts and figures for you all to answer here. So this is where some of your general knowledge is going to be really important if you've got those. So if we're all ready to play, then we'll get on with this round. Geography and Places. Question 1. What area does Dartmoor cover to the nearest square mile? Or I'll accept it in football pitches if you want to be show off, if you want to show off how many football pitches it is. I've taken this from one of our National Park fact sheets, so I don't want anyone to dispute me the number of football pitches. Someone else has worked that out and I'm going with it. So I want either to the nearest square mile or to the nearest number of football pitches. What area does Dartmoor cover? And you only get 1 point whichever one you answer. So you're not going to get 2 points. Someone's probably busy doing the maths now, aren't they? Trying to work out how big a football pitch it is. Is it a full-size pitch? Who knows? Probably safer to stick with square miles. Question 2. What's the tallest building on Dartmoor and what is it best known as? So there's 2 parts to this question. Part 1, what's the tallest building on Dartmoor? And part 2, what is it best known as? So 2 points up for grabs here. Okay, question 3. Question 3. What is the man-made object located right in the middle of the moor at Cranmere Pool? What is the man-made object located right in the middle of the moor at Cranmere Pool? Okay. Question 4. Question 4. There is a lot of water on Dartmoor. Understatement. There's a lot of water on Dartmoor, and there are 3 reservoirs of Fernworthy, Venford and Tor, and they were originally built to provide water to which towns or cities? So what I want for this question is I want you to work out which town or towns and cities each reservoir was built for. So Fernworthy, which town, towns or cities was it built for? Venford, which town, towns or cities was it built for? And Tor, which town, towns or cities was it built for? So 3 points there, 3 points for you if you can get those 3 correct. I'm not going to give you any clues here. It's tempting, isn't it, to just drop a few clues in, but I'm going to leave you to try and work it out. Drag and dredge those finer corners of your minds, trying to remember where all of those facts are about Dartmoor. So which 3 reservoirs? So the 3 reservoirs of Fernworthy, Venford and Tor were originally built to provide water to which towns or cities? That's what I'm looking for there. And question 5 now. Question 5, what is the name of the long distance walking route which links Ivy Bridge to Lynmouth? Now I hope, Tim Russell, if you're still with us, that you get this one right. What's the name of the long distance walking route which links Ivy Bridge to Lynmouth? I'm not going too fast for everyone here. I've noticed the time. I feel like I might have skipped on a little bit here. So apologies if I'm rushing you. Question 6. It is said that the River Dart takes its name from the old word for what? And I don't mean the old word for what. I mean which old word? So River Dart takes its name from the old word for what? confer there at home, talking to the cat, trying to get some sense out of it at last? Or was the cat already scuttled off somewhere in disgust at having been ignored? And the final question in this round, question 7. What linked the West Dart River and the docks at Plymouth? What linked the West Dart River and the docks at Plymouth? Just a little warning from YouTube about audio quality there, so I'm hoping you heard that. I'll just repeat it again. What linked the West Dart River and the docks of Plymouth? Okay, and that is your 7 questions there. Your 7 questions for geography and places. So that means we are rattling into our final round any minute now. So I'll just give you a few seconds to catch up on all those bits and pieces there. Hopefully you've made a note of questions that you didn't know the answer to at a particular point, and you can go and have a little look. There'll be a few minutes between the end of the questions and the start of the answers for you to sort of go back over questions as well there. Okay, well, if we're all ready for it, keep us all on time. We're going to go to the final round. The final round is called Otter or Notter. Is it utterly believable or not a word of truth? Is it utterly believable or not a word of truth? Which is it going to be? So I'm going to read out 7 questions here. I'm going to read out 7 questions, and some of them will be true and some of them will be false. It's up to you to try and work out which one is which. So I want you to say if it's otter, utterly believable, or notter, not a word of truth. So there should be just a list of otters and notters. And to mix things up as well, this round is going to be worth 2 points per question as well. So it's all high stakes in the last round here. This is where some of you may be able to claw back points. Perhaps you didn't feel you knew as much as you thought earlier on. This is going to be your chance to take a gamble, and maybe you'll score some points. And it will probably infuriate those of you who have been doing really well so far, and you might just come a cropper on some of these. So no apologies there. It's just the way the quiz works. So question 1, or statement 1: an adult otter needs to eat about 6 kilograms of fish per day. An adult otter needs to eat about 6 kilograms of fish per day. Is that otter or notter? Otter or notter? An adult otter needs to eat about 6 kilograms of fish per day. Give you a few minutes to work on this one. Okay, number 2. The famous White Horse Hill burial ceremony took place over 3,600 years ago in September. Am I being utterly believable or not a word of truth? The famous White Horse Hill burial ceremony took place over 3,600 years ago in September. Utterly true, not a word of truth. Okay, number 3. Granite from Tor was used to build Tower Bridge in London. Otter or Notter? Granite from Tor was used to build Tower Bridge in London. Otter or Notter? See the poker face. Can't read anything. Which way I've gone? Number 4. Dartmoor ponies are wild. Otter or Notter? And if you get this one wrong, we've been doing something wrong with our messaging over the years. So Dartmoor ponies are wild. Is that Otter or Notter? Number 6. Lichens on Dartmoor are made up of a plant and a fungus growing together symbiotically. Is that Otter or Notter? Otter or Notter? Lichens on Dartmoor are made up of a plant and a fungus growing together symbiotically. And now our last question of the quiz. Question 7. Dartmoor was home to medieval cowboys who rode horses and dealt with cattle rustlers. And I probably need to put medieval cowboys in inverted commas. There you go. So Dartmoor was home to medieval cowboys who rode horses and dealt with cattle rustlers. Is that Otter or Notter? And that is for you historians out there. The historians, fabulous. So that is 6 rounds of questions all about Dartmoor. So I hope you've enjoyed working on those. So we are now ready to go into a short break, and then we can go over the answers. So I'm just going to put the live chat back on. If you had any issues with any of the questions, you want to sort of ask me to sort of repeat any, then I can do. But I've also got some slides to show you as well, just as part of our waiting time. I've got some anagrams for you to do while we're waiting here. So I'm just going to post these anagrams here. These are just for fun. There's 9 anagrams of Dartmoor places. Have a look at these and try and see if you can work them out. It is almost 20 past 7, so we're going to be back about 24 minutes past 7 to read the answers out and to go through the scores. So I hope you can stick around for that. Oh, did I miss one? No, I don't think so. So I could just see there's a few questions. Was there a question 6 on the final round? Yes, question 6 was lichens on Dartmoor are made up of a plant and a fungus growing symbiotically. Otter or Notter? Which letter was the northernmost Tor? I can't see from here. I will have a little look in a moment because I'm looking at postage stamp screens on my screen here. So let me just look here. Simon Harris, I hope that answered you. Did I miss one out, Emma? I don't think so. 1 was the Otter, 2 was the White Tor. Oh, I think I did, didn't I? I think I missed that question 5 in the Otter or Notter. Sorry, guys. Number 5 in the Otter or Notter. In the song Widdicombe Fair, Len Posset and Peter Tavy joined Uncle Tom Cobley. Is that Otter or Notter? Is that Otter or Notter? Len Posset and Peter Tavy joined Uncle Tom Cobley. Okay, there you go. That's great. So I think we've got all those ones there. Round 6, question 5. Round 1, question 1. Let me just get my bits of paper that I cast to the floor. Round 1, question 1 was, who was the flamboyant landowner responsible for the granite tramway or railroad from Haytor, which this year celebrated 200 years? Was it A, George Church, B, George Templar, or C, George Chapel? And there was a second bonus question there. What was record-breaking about this railroad? And then question 2 of that round, this is specifically for Lauren. Question 2 was Dartmoor Prison was opened at Princetown in 1809. Where did the first prisoners to be held there come from? Excellent. So I hope that helps everyone there. Yes, Emma, you're usually right. Sometimes. Sometimes. And you can stop joining in, Sam, as well. So thank you for that. Hopefully that's clarified some of those. Oh, Inga wanted me to just look at the map. So I'm just going to pull up a bigger picture of the map for a second. So just bear with me. Let me see if I can find that. So Inga, you wanted me to find what letter was the northernmost Tor? That letter was J. Northernmost Tor was J. Hope that helps. Okay, so I'm going to give you some anagrams. I'm going to then shut up for a few minutes, go and grab a glass of water. It looks like it's going to be nearer. I'll give everyone 5 minutes from now. So it's 27 minutes past 7. I will come back and read out the answers. But in the meantime, here are some anagrams to help you through the next few minutes. Okay, that was your 5 minutes. I hope that was enough time to go through your questions. It would help, wouldn't it, if I put my microphone in? Sorry about that. I knew there was something wrong when I sat here a moment ago. I thought this doesn't feel right. So so welcome back, everyone. So I hope you got on all right with those anagrams there. I'll just go through those anagrams in a second. I just need to pull up a bigger screen of them though again. I'm having the same problem Inga was having there. If you want to sort of go through those, the first one, rad motor. Hopefully you all got that one. That was Dartmoor. Number 2, Roger G. Floddy. That might have been a bit tough for that. That's a specific place on Dartmoor. That is Lidford Gorge. Lidford Gorge. Number 3, Hits Crow. This was Cristo. Cristo, a little village over on the West Team. I mean the West East. Anyway, the Team. Peg to Birds, number 4, is Post Bridge. Number 5, Heelit Slug, Lustly. Number 6, Lick the Past, was Sticklepath. I'm just going to show you these so you can actually see them while I'm talking them through. Sorry, I forgot I'd shared a picture of me here. Rad Motor was Dartmoor, Roger D. Floddy was Lidford Gorge, Hits Crow was Cristo, Peg to Birds was Post Bridge, Heelit Slug was Lustly, Lick the Past was Sticklepath. I found that one hard, and I wrote them as well, so I found that one hard going back and trying to remember what it was. Sticklepath, number 6. And number 7, I liked both these anagrams, so I kept them. So Townferry H or Her Rye Font, both anagrams are Fernworthy. And number 8, Mice Do Web is Widdicombe. And number 9, Honk at Poem is Oakhampton. So I don't know how you did on those, whether you did any of them or tried them or just looked at them and thought, gosh, those look tough. See, Emma says Crumsies are difficult, and she's seen them once before as well. So hopefully we are ready to go through some answers. So let's see how we get on here. So the first round, round 1. Just checking my microphone was on then for a moment. Yeah, it is. So round 1 travels through time. Question 1, who was the flamboyant landowner responsible for the Granite Tramway? It was B, George Templar. Tried to throw you off by giving you some churches and chapels, but it was George Templar. So that's 1 point. And the bonus point, what was record breaking about this railroad? It's the first railroad in Devon. It's the first railroad in Devon. So 1 point for that, if you got that right. Question 2. Dartmoor Prison was opened in 1809 and the first prisoners came from France. It was opened for the Napoleonic prisoners of war. So the first prisoners came from France. Some of you may have got Americans, but they didn't arrive till 1812. It was the French I was looking for 1 point. Question 3. What is the name for the old-fashioned coaches that brought tourists up onto Dartmoor? I was looking for charabanc. Charabanc comes from the French to mean benches, carriage with benches, I think. So that's a point there. Number 4, this was a multiple choice. Where was the outdoor Tinners Parliament on Dartmoor? It was B, Crock-and-Tor. B, Crock-and-Tor. Okay, and a point there. Number 5, what was milled at powder mills? Gunpowder. And if you attended Lee's talk the other day, you would have seen a picture of the ruins of powder mills, incredibly thick walls, and apparently it only had a canvas roof. So if any blast took place, it would only blow the canvas roof off and wouldn't destroy everything inside the mill. Question 6. How old is Dartmoor National Park this year? We are 69 years old. 69 years old. We're celebrating our big anniversary, our 70th anniversary next year. Question 7. How many hut circles are there on Dartmoor to the nearest 1,000? If you didn't know, it was worth a guess. 5,000 hut circles. 5,000 hut circles on Dartmoor. So you get a point for that. And then our holy stones, let's just bring those up and share those with you. So our holy stones, I was looking for the kist. The kist is picture B. That's stone grave there. A is a mould stone for pouring tin into, and C is a mortar stone or a stamp stone. That's where the stamps would have pounded the tin ore and crushed it. These poles banging up and down, powered by a water wheel, and it would have eventually sort of made those dimples in the stone there. So thanks again to the Dartmoor Archive for letting us use those images. So add up your scores for that round, and it should be out of 11. Should be out of 11 for that round. So make a note of your score there. And let's move straight onto round 2. Says that's just disappeared. There we go. Round 2. Let's pull up the Tor map here. So apologies that it's a bit small for you, Inga. Hopefully everyone else can see it's okay. So the Tors. A was Sittaford Tor, right in the middle there. B was Great Mist Tor. C was North Hessery Tor, just outside Princetown. Sorry. D, Belliver Tor. E was Sheepstor, just on the side of Borough Tor there. F could have been confused with Haytor. F was Ripon Tor, so that means G was Haytor. H just beyond Widdicombe is Hameldown Tor. I is Hound Tor, and J is Yes Tor. So A Sittaford, B Great Miss, C North Hessery, D Belliver, E Sheepstor, F Ripon, G Haytor, H Hameldown, I Hound Tor, J Yes Tor. So some of you have probably done really well or really badly on that round. So hopefully it was still a bit fun trying to work out where they all were. And I also said I had a bonus question. What year was the first 10 Tours expedition to include civilians? And according to their website, it was 1960. There was an exercise in 1959, but that was only for the military. So I took it as 1960 as their first official 10 Tours expedition. So again, total of 11 points there for you on that round. So round 3 was all about wild Dartmoor. Wild Dartmoor. So number 1, what stone can be found across the high ground of Dartmoor? Gives it its special character. That was granite. And I was looking for how long ago it was formed, counting in 50 million year blocks. And the answer is 300 million years ago if you're in 50 million year blocks. If you're being precise, then I've got 280 million years ago, although sometimes I've seen 290 as well, but I was going with 280 there. So 300 is probably the safest bet there for a point. So 2 points in that round, 1 point if you got granite, 1 point if you've got 300 million years or 280. Number two, what is strange about the curlew's beak? Well, the answer I was looking for is it curves down. The beak curves down, it's long and it curves down. So there's nothing strange about a long beak. There are quite a few waders with long beaks, but it's the fact it curves down that I was looking for there. So give yourself a point, it curves down. What colour, number three, what colour is bog asphodel? I have trouble saying that every time. What colour is bog asphodel? And the answer is yellow. If you get out there at the right time in the summer, there are beautiful carpets of yellow flowers with tufts of cotton grass poking out amongst it. But they are good indications of really wet ground, so don't go wading out amongst it, because not only will you get wet feet, but you will also disturb such a wonderful habitat there as well. Number four, the peat that forms the dark brown soils of Dartmoor. Why was this? The peat that forms the dark brown soils of Dartmoor was formed from decaying sphagnum moss. Why was sphagnum moss collected in the First World War? It was collected because it was used in military dressings. Because of its amazing absorbent powers, it can absorb up to 20 times its weight in water. It's much more absorbent than cotton wool even. And it also has a certain antiseptic quality to it as well. So that's why it was used during the First World War. I think there was a big operation around Princetown to collect it and send it off in the war there. There's some brilliant pictures on the Dartmoor archive. If you have a look for them. So 1 point there for that, if you got that right. Number five, how long is the ash slug, the world's largest slug that can be found on Dartmoor's woodlands? I was looking for 20 centimetres or 8 inches. So I was looking to the nearest centimetre or inch. So if you were going in inches, then if you weren't quite sure, you could probably have got that right. So 20 centimetres or 8 inches, 1 point, whichever you chose, if you got it right. Number six, what creature is this? Hopefully you're all shouting out, it's a dragonfly. It's a larvae of a dragonfly nymph. So dragonfly for 1 point. And where would you find it? So if you look carefully, you can see that this is a skin, a shed skin, that the adult has just left the larval stage and climbed out and left that skin behind and flown off then as a dragonfly. So if I'm being really pernickety, then you would find this very close to a pond or a river, probably on a bit of reed or something like that. But if you didn't see that it was the larval skin, if you just thought it was the larvae, I will accept in a pond or stream or river. So I'll be kind to you on this. So 1 point for dragonfly, 1 point for pond, stream or river. And those of you who actually recognised it as the larval stage, the shed skin, you can just have a bonus kudos point, which doesn't actually count in the real world, but at least you'll know you have that extra kudos for getting it right. Excellent. And then finally in that round, how do you tell the difference between a pedunculate oak and a sessile oak? It's in the name. A pedunculate oak has peduncles or stalks on its acorns. The acorns have got little stalks on them if it's pedunculate, and on a sessile oak, the acorns are sessile or stalkless. So you see those in clusters. So if you find a little cluster of acorns on the ground that have fallen off a tree, then those have come from a sessile oak tree. If you find single acorns with long stalks, then those are pedunculate. And you would normally find pedunculate oak sort of down in the lowlands. So to find them up on top of the high parts of the moor is really strange and unusual, which makes Wiston's Wood and Blackatall Copse and places like that really special. Okay, now we're getting into it, the entertainment round, round 4. So this is to test those of you who didn't sort of have a in-depth knowledge of the wildlife or history of Dartmoor. Maybe you fared better in the entertainment round. Let's have a look and see how you got on. In the entertainment round, number 1, which film made in 1932 links the old railway station at Lussley to Sherlock Holmes? I was looking for the Hound of the Baskervilles. Hound of the Baskervilles. Hopefully, if you didn't know, you could have a guess at that. And what role did the station play in the film? The specific answer I was looking for was that the station became Baskerville. It changed its name and became Baskerville, the imaginary place within the book. So 2 points there if you got both those correct. Number 2, which early 90s good time outlaw band headlined the 2019 Chagstock Festival? It was the Fun-Loving Criminals. Criminals. Yeah? So hopefully the cryptic clue didn't put you off and send you in a completely spurious route there. 1 point for that. Question 3. Who directed the film Warhorse, which was filmed on Dartmoor, and who wrote the book it was based on? I was looking for Steven Spielberg for the director and Michael Morpurgo for the author. So 2 points up for grabs there. Number 4, name the Devon musician who wrote the album Kitty J, inspired by the Dartmoor legend. That is Seth Lakeman. Seth Lakeman for a point. Fab. Number 5, We Bought a Zoo was relocated from wet and damp Devon to hot and sunny California. So I was looking for California there for 1 point. Question 6, what did Sabine Baring-Gould write the lyrics for? Which hymn did he write the lyrics for? He wrote Onward Christian Soldiers. And I'm doing very well not to sing it badly to you, so you can all sing it to yourselves at home now. Fab. Number 7, Agatha Christie wrote her first mystery to include Hercule Poirot while she was staying at the Moorland Hotel near Haytor in 1916. Hercule Poirot was the answer there. So there were 9 points up for grabs in that round. 9 points up for grabs. Okay. It's getting tense, isn't it now? It's all the... I thought I got some water there. As all the scores are starting to add up and how you're all getting on. Round 5, geography and places. What area does Dartmoor cover to the nearest square mile? It was 368 square miles. It used to be 365, didn't it? But it became 368. And that is apparently the equivalent of 20,000 football pitches. So a point for 368 square miles or 20,000 football pitches, or an imaginary kudos point that doesn't count if you got both of those right. Fabulous. Number 2, what's the tallest building on Dartmoor and what is it best known as? I was looking for Widdicombe Church, otherwise known as St Pancras Church. So either of those for 1 point. And it is best known as the Cathedral on the Moor, isn't it? The Cathedral on the Moor. So a bonus point if you get that one as well. Number 3. Number 3, what is the man-made object located right in the middle of the moor at Cranmere Pool? It's a letterbox. So letterbox. Hopefully many of you have made your way up there. You might even see some bog asphodel there if you get up that way in the summertime as well, because it is incredibly damp all around that spot. Originally set up by James Perrot, or Perrot, the Dartmoor guide from Chagford in 1854. I think he set a cairn up, didn't he, there? And people could leave messages there. So the original letterbox was at Cranmere Pool. Number 4, the reservoirs question. Okay, Fernworthy Reservoir fed Torquay, Totnes, or Brixham. So they fed all three of those towns. You can have a point if you got one of those towns there for Fernworthy. So if you got Torquay, Totnes, or Brixham for Fernworthy, brilliant, well done. Benford was to supply water to Paynton, so a point there. And Borator was to supply water for Plymouth. So well done if you got a point there. So there's 3 points in that question. Number 5, the name of the long distance walking route which links Ivy Bridge to Lynmouth is the Two Moors Way, 102 miles. Opened in 1976 apparently. Question 6. The River Dart takes its name from the old word for what? For oak. So it said that Dart is has come from the Old English or Celtic, I think, isn't it, for oak? Somehow it's devolved from that, which kind of makes sense, doesn't it? And I think it's a nice thing to go with anyway, even if we can't prove it categorically there. So I was looking for oak. And number 7. What linked the West Dart River and the docks at Plymouth? And I was looking for the Plymouth or Devonport Leat, built in 1790. So the Plymouth or Devonport Leat, built in 1790. Okay, final round, everyone. Then it's the moment of truth, sharing the scores moments here. Okay. So our final round was the Otter or Notter round, our true or false round. Each of these is worth 2 points. So this could make or break and really change the results for everyone here. So question 1 was an adult otter needs to eat about 6 kilos of fish per day. And the answer is Notter. Apparently, an otter needs to eat about 20% of its body weight a day. So if we're looking at 6 kilos of fish a day, that would make him about 30 kilos, which is the weight of a 10-year-old boy. So that would be pretty fearsome to meet an otter that big. They're about 8 to 10 kilos. So yeah, so if you got Notter, then it is 2 points to you. Well done. Question 2. The famous White Horse Hill burial ceremony took place over 3,600 years ago in September. And that is true. Utterly true, that is. It's amazing that the carbon dating can get the year, the rough years right, but actually it's the organic remains. It was the meadow sweet that they found in there that allowed them to pin the date to September time. If you put September. I did read somewhere earlier actually that it might have been August as well. So if you thought it was August, then it was not. But anyway, it's August or September. Anyway, you decide. Be a grown-up on that one. Just tie yourself in knots. Number 3, granite from Haytor was used to build Tower Bridge in London. It's not isn't it? It's not true. It was used to build London Bridge. London Bridge, to replace the London Bridge of the nursery rhyme, London Bridge is falling down. It was falling down so badly that they needed to replace it in the 1820s. I've just seen Amanda said, actually, I think it was August bank holiday. Very funny. Yeah, so the London Bridge was made out of Haytor granite, I think, along with a bit of Aberdeen granite and then maybe even a bit of Cornish granite. But we don't talk about those. We just take the claim for our bits of granite. And we also take delight in the fact that it ended up in Arizona when it was decommissioned in the late 60s. So there we go. Number 4, Dartmoor ponies are wild. It's not a true, is it? Not a word of truth. They're all owned by farmers on the moor who keep them out on the commons and graze them and look after them. So yeah, we need to make sure that everyone knows they're not wild ponies. So it's not a true. Number 5, this was the one I missed out, and apologies for that. This is the song Widdicombe Fair. Len Posset and Peter Tavy joined Uncle Tom Cobley. Len Posset and Peter Tavy joined Uncle Tom Cobley, and that is not a true. It's not a word of truth. Len Posset I picked out from a 1967 spoof version from Round the Horn, which starred Kenneth Williams, and Peter Tavy is a village on the west of Dartmoor. So not a for that. And number 6, lichens on Dartmoor are made of a plant and a fungus growing symbiotically, and this is utterly true. Yeah, they're incredible, aren't they? That they are two things living together in perfect partnership. So I always love those. Utterly true. And number 7, just for Emma, Dartmoor was home to medieval cowboys who rode horses and dealt with cattle rustlers. Yeehaw! It's utterly true. Yeah, there may be a slight pinch of salt in saying cowboys, in the fact that we might think of them all as Wild West. But Harold Fox, the eminent historian, did describe them as rangers on horseback covering long distances, tracing strays, apprehending men grazing illegally, and catching cattle rustlers. So that seems to me a proper definition of a cowboy there. So 2 points if you got that utterly right. So there are 14 points in that round. So I'll just give you a few more moments to add up your scores. It should be out of a grand total of 64. That's what I got it as. And if you want to share some of your scores on the live chat, that would be fabulous. Or if you can't hang around for that, then you can always share on social media. I've got a slide that I can put up in a moment that just has our social media channels in case you've not found them already. But a quick search for Dartmoor National Park should bring them up, and you can share on all those as well. So it's been absolutely fantastic seeing so many of you taking part tonight. Thank you for all getting involved and for joining in on the live chat. That's been great to see you are all there. So thank you for that. It's been really nice to get dressed up for a change, hasn't it? Really, I don't know about you guys, but you know, I've actually got a tie on and everything, and I even fully dressed. 43 for Joe. Well done, Joe. It's good that you were brave to stick your necks out straight away. Bashi Durdo, 36 for you. Well done, guys. That's entertainment. Sorry, Joe. 51, but well done. That is a great score. 41, Sam, well done. Emma, 50, brilliant. 37 for the team Smoky Field. So we want the answer to question 1. It's I think I've read this one out several times, haven't I? Over in terms of asset, we keep missing it. Question 1, round 1. The answer was B, George Templar. And the record-breaking thing about it was the first railroad in Devon. So I was looking for those 2 things there. 47, well done, guys. So I'm just looking through the scores here. So at the moment, it looks like Joe, Swift, is claiming the kudos points here at 51, closely followed by Emma, who did do some of the questions the other day in practice. 47 for Chris and for Tim. Well done, guys. 46, Inga. Thank you. That's great. A full marks on round 5. I thought sort of on some of the facts and figures that sort of there would be some great experts on there. So I was trying to sort of make it so that people who didn't have an in-depth knowledge of Dartmoor sort of might be able to sort of find their way around this and enjoy it as well. So thank you, that's been brilliant. So yeah, you've all done really well there, guys. Some great scores. 15 needs to go. Yeah. Yeah, you did have an unfair advantage, Emma. But then I don't know how much Zach held you back there in Team Teabag. It's good to see you all. Thank you for taking part. I'll just be here for a few more moments, just enjoying some of your comments. But feel free to sort of head off and enjoy the rest of your evening. I've got some lasagna to defrost in a second and go and have my tea. Thanks, Joe. That's lovely. Thank you. Oh, this is why I'm staying around now. It's just to hear lots of people saying they've had fun, so that is good. That's the only reason I do this, isn't it? Really, to get dressed up and have a bit of fun. I mean, I'm really looking forward to being able to do some of these things in person next year, when we can actually sort of be a bit more interactive and up face. It'd be great to meet some of you again out on the moor with some of our events and walks and talks and all those kind of things that we normally do. It's been lovely doing some of the things that we've been doing online. We've had some great talks with Lee and Andy Crabb and lots of other experts over the last few months as well. So if you are looking for something to do of an evening to broaden your knowledge about Dartmoor, then there's some great talks on our YouTube channel here. So if you've not seen them already, go and have a look at those. There are some workshops and things that you can do if you've got youngsters to entertain and all those kind of things. So have a little look around, have a root around in the YouTube channel while you're here and find all that stuff. Just some more great scores there. So Robert Kearns, sorry, 46, well done. Yeah, just me down west, well done. Cheerio, Emma, thanks for coming along. Am I actually Jarvis Cocker? I don't think so. I don't think so, but I would love to be Jarvis Cocker, yeah. Thanks, Adam. Thank you for those positive comments. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming along, getting involved tonight and taking part and sticking with it. I will see you all very soon. If I don't see you before Christmas, have a great one. We've got an advent calendar that keeps popping up on Facebook over the next few, well, every day till Christmas. Facts and silly cracker jokes and workshops for the family, exciting things to do shopping wise, all those kind of things to support Dartmoor. So keep your eyes open for those. Lots of people getting involved in that. So I'm just going to say goodbye. I'm going to put this last slide on and I'm going to turn the microphone off. But thanks, guys. Great to see you and see you all very soon.